Hello everyone, welcome to another session of learning. We are seeing through the CTET or the TNTET or the State Teacher Eligibility Test exams concepts, and in that we are going through the child-centered and progressive education. That this is the third video. We have already seen a video for child-centered education and then for progressive education. So in this video, we'll be looking into more about the progressive education. With that, we'll be completing with this part. Now, when we look into the progressive education, we saw that the main person about whom we read was John Dewey. Okay, so John Dewey, who was he? He was an American philosopher, psychologist, and an educator, wherein he believed that children are the active contributors or they are the active agents of learning and not just passive. Okay, so we need to give them the importance and we need to check that they learn through experience. So experiential learning was given more importance. Okay, so in that, out of his ideas, so he gave some principles on this progressive education. There are these four principles. The first one is learning by doing. So we've been repeatedly using this word learning by doing. That means, so learning by doing is nothing but the basic experiential learning, wherein when students are going to be actively engaged, then they would be able to perform better. Okay, so in that way they'll be able to perform well. That is what we are seeing when it is going to come with the learning by doing. The next one is discussions. Discussions, when you say, okay, discussions, when you say, it is preparing the students for their future life. So when you discuss, it might be a kind of a group discussion or a debate or anything like that, wherein they'll be able to formulate their own ideas. Okay, they'll be able to formulate their own ideas, and they'll be able to uh, have a different point of view. Okay, their own point of view, and how they need to project their ideas and how they need to convince others in certain arguments where they are projecting their own ideas. Okay, so here when there is discussion, you can see that there is uh, going to be a preparation to every child for the democratic society. Okay, so that is with respect to discussions. And the next one is interactive. So when we talk about progressive education, the students are led to be interactive. Okay, they have to be interactive with the environment also as they grow. So in the present stage, when they are students, only when they are able to interact during that stage, they learn to interact when they grow up. Okay, so when they interact, they'll be able to understand their ideas and the others ideas. The next one is going to be interdisciplinary. So interdisciplinary is yet another very important thing, where we can see that you build certain ideas on what you already know. Okay, so you already know about some kind of plants, then you bring in some ideas, some mathematical concepts, then you learn about the next ideas. Okay, so wherein interdisciplinary is where you are going to learn one subject through the integration of some other subject, and this helps students to understand the opportunity of how things are connected. You'll be able to understand the connectivity between two things. Okay, that is what is all about the principles of progressive education according to John Dewey's theory. The next one is going to be the aspects. So, according to Dewey, progressive education consists of five of these aspects. The first one is education. Education, when you see, you can see that the student is able to prepare himself or herself for a psychological as well as the sociological life. Okay, he is able to face problems. When there is going to be when he's going to face problems, he'll be able to understand what is going to happen around him. He'll be able to get his own instincts, wherein he can have an assumption of what is happening around him. For that, education plays a major role. And education, from where did it come? It comes mainly from school. Education can also happen at home, But when it comes from school, you can see that you have more knowledge about the studies, no more knowledge about the subjects where you need to learn. So wherein you can see the teacher has a teacher who is seen as an authoritative figure is no longer authoritative, wherein in progressive education they become a facilitator. The next one is curriculum. When you look into the curriculum, in earlier days, curriculum was only focusing more on the academics. But nowadays, when you see the present day curriculum, you can see that it focuses more on the skills and the values. Okay, the practical skills. You have a lot of values added when you learn things more practically. So all these things are being focused. The next one is going to be method of education. So method of education is how the information is being imparted into the child. You can see that one child, the one child may be very good in understanding things when it is being shown in form of images. For another child, it will be through videos. For another child, it would be some kind of symbols. So, according to the child, the method of education should be tailored or should be changed. So, that is what we are seeing. That is the fourth aspect of progressive education. The final one is called as the social progress. So, when you look into the social progress, it is the social reconstruction of the school of the or the any educational institution where the educationalists must give whatever they need to face the society. Okay, the school cannot restrict to only certain things, but they should have a better exposure in order to face the outside world better and confidently. Next, we are going to look into the characteristics of progressive education. Okay, when you look into the characteristics, so with all these discussions about the aspects and the principles, we can say that this education is designed according to the interests of the children. Okay, because we need to let the child be independent, we need to let the child develop self confidence, develop their own maturity, and increase their skill of self learning. So all these has to be done. And then approach to education is developmental. Okay, so approach to education is developmental. When you talk about this, it means that each child has unique needs for its own development. So according to that, the importance need to be given. And the next one is collaborative learning. Collaborative learning is yet another very important thing wherein they develop social values and skills, because when you collaborate in the learning process, you get along with people of diverse cultures, diverse areas wherein you understand them. Okay, the last one is that the teacher works as a facilitator. So when you talk about a facilitator, the teacher is no longer a teacher, no longer takes one role, but the teacher is a facilitator where the scaffolding is being provided to the student as in the role of a teacher. So these are the characteristics of progressive education. Next, the final thing which we need to discuss under this is going to be the humanistic approach, the types of the progressive education. When you look into the types of progressive education, you can see that there are three types: humanistic, constructivist, and Montessori. When you look into the humanistic, it is going to be the child-centered education, and you can see that humanistic psychologists are going to be Abraham Maslow. Okay, you would have learnt about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs in your B.Ed course. So this Maslow's and then Carl Rogers, and you can see that these people here humanistic, they focused more on the arts and sciences. Okay, arts and sciences were given more importance in this. So here in this you can see that the empathy, caring about the students who are learning under the teacher, and the genuineness. So all these are being considered to be important. So when you approach the education in this kind of humanistic way, you call that type of progressive education to be humanistic. When you look into the constructivist, you are doing some construction. What are you going to construct? You're going to construct or work on the child's creativity. So the child has a creativity, the child has a knowledge. Okay, so that is being considered. You're constructing our own understanding of the world. Okay, so the learning is going to start with what is going on around them. So with whatever happens around them, with that they get an idea, and then they are able to build certain models, and with that the teacher will be able to tailor their teaching strategies to the needs of the students. The last one is the Montessori. Okay, when you talk about Montessori, it is the primary level approach. So what is done in the primary level, and this Montessori learning, you can see that here teachers are completely facilitators, and you can see that this is developed by an Italian doctor. Montessori is developed by an Italian doctor named Maria Montessori. Her name is Maria Montessori, and after her name only they have kept it as Montessori. So here children are allowed to make their own choices. When you go to a kindergarten school wherein no, you can't set any rules to the children telling this you have to do, this you have to do. So they will make their own choices, and they'll have hands-on training. So all these things are going to be there. So all these things are being done. Their intelligence, their socialization, everything will enhance. Okay, so these are the three types of progressive education. So I hope you have understood all these things. Um, so if you have any doubt, please get back to the videos once again. We are finishing with the child-centered and the progressive education with this. See you again, other video with another concept. Thank you, everyone.